Hello everybody, this is Toni Turner and welcome to the market now as of Friday, July 10th at about 2 p.m. Eastern. Well, so far today the S&P 500 and the Dow have rose in choppy trading boosted by financial stocks, but the sentiment has been fragile as a record rise in coronavirus cases in the United States has threatened to further damage corporate America. Technology stocks weakened earlier this morning, dragging the Nasdaq lower. However, they rose this afternoon. The Nasdaq's risen this afternoon, and we may get the third record closing high this week. And on that note, let's go on to three charts that could give us some insight to the week to come. First of all, as we always do, we're going to look at a daily chart of the S&P 500 SPDR, symbol SPY. As you all know, this is the ETF that closely follows our S&P 500 benchmark index. Now, when I captured this chart today, right here you can see the SPY is trading at $316.54, or about $31.65 on the S&P 500 itself. Now, as I've been mentioning in Twitter this week, and for those of you who don't know my Twitter handle, it is Toni Turner Trade, at Toni Turner Trade. So anyway, as I've been talking about this week on Twitter, so far the SPY has not been able to get over this consolidation zone here that comes up to about 318 or 3180 on the S&P 500 itself. Now, actually, the SPY has been consolidating since about June 11th, and it's been trading in this narrow range that you see here that goes from about 297 up to this 317, 318 line, or zone we can call it. Now, please do know that second quarter earnings season will be coming underway here starting this week, Tuesday. The banks usually start the earnings season. So Tuesday, the banks will start announcing. That could add some volatility, definitely some extra excitement to the market as the banks start to announce. After all, financials can be considered the backbone of this country. Now, the SPY is about 7% right here off of its all-time high. Of course, the all-time high was back here in February at $338. Now, again, the SPY is just above its 20-day moving average. That's a good thing. The 20-day, the red line, is coming in here at about 310. The 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average are down here at about 302, 303, and it's a good thing. The green line, the 50-day moving average, looks as though it may come up here and actually is at the moment crossing above the 200-day moving average. Now, that's known by many traders throughout the history of trading as a golden cross. A golden cross is when the 50-day moving average rises above the 200-day moving average. So that's a signal that a lot of traders appreciate, and we'll certainly see how it works out here. Now, of course, what we want here is for the SPY to start moving higher here in the coming week, break above that 318 line, then come up above and break above about 323 here. That would even be better, starting its way back up to the all-time highs. If that cannot happen, if for any reason earnings don't come out, and it will take, this is about earnings season takes about 3 weeks. So in the next 3 weeks, if the SPY can't break out higher here, if it has to come down and take another rest, at the moment it does have support here at that 302, 303 zone where the 50 and 200-day moving averages come in. So, and if it breaks below that, then we could, of course, see another leg lower. Either way, please trade wisely and please check your protective stops on all of your open positions. Our next chart is the chart of the QQQ. Some traders call them the cubes. The Invesco QQQ follows the Nasdaq 100. And as you all know, that's a major index in the market. with the top large cap momentum stocks always leading the way, being the top holdings. Now, the QQQ made an all-time closing high yesterday evening, Thursday evening, at $262.18. That's a new all-time closing high. When I captured this chart today, again at about 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday, the QQQ was trading at $262.82, so that's quite a few cents above where the high came in, the closing high came in yesterday. Two of its biggest holdings are Amazon and Microsoft. Now, Amazon touched a new all-time intraday high today at $32.15, and Microsoft closed at a new all-time high yesterday, Thursday, at $214.32. So when you get these top holdings in the Nasdaq 100 leading like this, then of course it's going to pull. They're a big part of the Invesco QQQ, the Nasdaq 100, so it is going to pull this index up. These stocks will pull this index up with it, and of course it's a cap-weighted index, capitalization market cap-weighted index, so that contributes to the fact that they're pulling a lot of the weight here for the Nasdaq 100. Now, this is all well and good here. However, one might say we're pushing our luck a little bit here. The QQQ is currently overbought on the 14-day RSI, and as you can see right now, if you can see these tiny numbers here, the RSI is now at 71.88. When it gets to 70, it's overbought. Also, this little move up here, or not little, I should say, big move up that we've had in the last 8 or 9 trading days is at quite a steep angle. So please be careful here. The market can't go up unless it comes down first, at least at some point. So this is all good, but if you are investing or trading in high, large cap momentum stocks, you may really seriously want to check your protective stops on those. So volume also notably dives, I should have said, in the summer. And with earnings season starting, we may start to get a bumpy ride next week if these levels can't hold and if volume stays low. So again, fasten your seatbelt and please trade wisely. Our next and final chart here is a daily chart of the iShares Homebuilder ETF, symbol ITB. Some of the top components, it has 44 holdings. Some of the top holdings are D.R. Horton, Lennar, Pulte Homes, Lowe's, and Home Depot. Now, you can't see it on this chart, but the all-time highs were in May of 2006 at about $50. And the ITB, if you look right here in February, the ITB matched that high, coming up to a little over $50 in February of this year. So it then, like everything else, did a dumpster dive on the, well, it wasn't funny, all the way down here to its March 18th low at $22.29. Nearly got cut in half. Then made a very nice rally here, and I'm not able to draw a straight line, it looks like, but as you can see, made a very nice uptrend up, and as did many indexes that were strong, and even stocks. It moved up over the 20-day moving average and then kind of used that as a trampoline all the way up to the end of May. Fell down a little in May, then moved back up, and is now, excuse me, when I captured, came back down to the 200-day. When I captured this chart today, the ITB was trading at $45.31. So now it is just about 1% off of these all-time highs back here. Now, with interest rates being as low as they are, and just assuming, of course you can't assume anything, but just assuming they're going to stay low for a little, some time here, if the market can stay relatively positive and stable in the coming week, I may And if the ITB can stay above the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average in this consolidation zone, and here we have it's drawing a pennant. So if it can stay above the 50 and 200 day, and if it can even move a little higher, I may add a small position of the ITB to my trading portfolio. Now again, you can see it's made the uptrend here all the way up like that. And we can also draw, then we can draw a line here as it's making this consolidation pennant zone here. It's making a pennant, so the ITB is going to break out one way or the other in the coming weeks. This acts like a pressure cooker, you guys. When a stock trends higher and then it starts moving sideways, making lower highs but higher lows, that's known as a pennant. It acts as a pressure cooker, and before it comes to an end here down to the matrix, it generally will pop one way or the other. Now, interestingly enough, when you see a pennant being formed like this, it's usually if it pops to the upside before this pennant reaches about the 2/3 way of being completed, that's usually a very bullish move. So we'll have to see. If, however, it keeps consolidating tighter and tighter, that can sometimes mean that traders are getting tired and it's not as bullish a signal. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on the ITB. Again, if it can stay above the 50-day moving average and the 200, both are coming in here at about $42. I may add shares to my portfolio. Now for my initial stop here, you can either use a tight stop here at $43, or you can use a slightly looser stop down here, which I'm putting in at $41.85, $41.85, and that's below the 50 and 200 day moving averages. So if you only go in at first with a small position, then the fact that this stop down here at 41.80, if you put that in, if it's only a small position, even though it's a distance away from where you bought the stock, you still aren't going to take a chance of that big of a loss. However, if the ITB starts moving up and you add to that position, you certainly may want to tighten your stop, turn it into a trailing stop, as I will. So again, if the ITB can remain above these lines in the coming week and the market is relatively stable and positive, I will be adding to it. So you may want to keep an eye on the ITB in the coming week. And now, before we go on to final thoughts, please know that you can find my online training programs at toniturner.com. All you do is go to toniturner.com right down here, click on Training Products tab at the top of the page, and there you will find my easy to understand trader trainings such as 3 winning setups, how to swing trades successfully, and 7 steps to successful trading, which has taught thousands of traders how to generate consistent profits in the market. If you want to discover my simple yet powerful strategies to increase your gains, again, just go to toniturner.com or click on the orange button below. And now on to final thoughts. Before you enter a trade, please, please, please remember to evaluate your options objectively. And I'm not talking about stock options here. I'm talking about thinking through a series of questions that you can use as a systematic approach. As in, where is my best entry? And is it available now? Or does it look like you're going to have to chase the stock, which is never such a good idea? How much money are you willing to risk? And where does that put your protective stop? And is that a logical place? Ask also, if I enter this trade, is it aligned with the market's overall trend? It's much easier to buy and go long when the market's going higher, and to stand on the sidelines or sell short when the market's going lower. So always ask, is your trade aligned with the market's current trend? Also, I find it very helpful to know and to ask, what sector does this stock reside in? And is my trade aligned with the sector's overall trade? And of course, you can always use exchange-traded funds to designate what sector or industry group that your stock lives in. Also, if you want a whole list of sectors and stocks or exchange-traded funds, sector exchange-traded funds, just go to ToniTurner.com, look up at the tabs at the top of the page, and there you will see education. If you click on that, you will get there's two reports there you can click on. One of them is sectors and stocks, and the other one is sectors and industry groups, and it's a list. They're both lists that you can use to find out which sector your stock resides in and make yourself a watch list. So anyway, back to what we're talking about here. If you weigh the options of the trade that you're looking to enter against a predetermined set of criteria, you can call it a checklist, it makes decision making easier and more effective. And after all, you can do all this in just a few seconds. Traders who use a checklist system invariably bring home bigger profits than those who just dive into stocks head first without thinking through the options objectively. So please think through your trades before you enter them. So for now, please remember that if you want to become a consistently winning trader, please check out our low price and popular online training programs. Until next week, keep green on your screen. I'm Toni Turner, and this is The Market Now.